Hello, I'm Thomas Andrion. I'm a researcher at the Paris Brain Institute in Paris. I want to talk to you today about our latest publication in Nature Communication about how we can predict lapses of attention with sleep intrusion in wakefulness. Wake and sleep are classically described as mutually exclusive, all or nothing phenomenon. You're either asleep or awake. Latest research show, however, that you can very often be in states where you're both awake and asleep. For example, during the day, when you start to get tired, you can have a brain that is globally awake, but with some brain regions that start showing signs of sleepiness and signs of sleep activity. In this paper, we're interested in understanding whether the apparition of sleep-like activity during wakefulness can predict attentional lapses. So we had participants doing a fairly boring task where they had to monitor a screen and respond to it. During this task, we also interrupted them and asked them about their attentional states. Specifically, we're interested in whether they were paying attention to the task they were supposed to do, or whether they were thinking about something else, a phenomenon called mind wandering, or whether they were not thinking at all, not being able to report anything that they had in mind, whether they experienced a mind blank. And we use the electroencephalography, so the recording of the brain dynamics, to see if we can identify this sleep-like slow wave in wakefulness and whether they are predictive of not only behavior, but also the subjective experience of our participants. And what we can find is that not only slow waves were predictive of attentional lapses, but they were doing so in a complex region-specific fashion. When you observe slow wave in the front of the brain, this leads to more impulsivity. Participants have the tendency to speed up, their reaction time decreases, and they make more false alarms. They also have the tendency to report more mind wandering, which is a form of subjective impulsivity. You are thinking about things you're not supposed to think about. Whereas when we're recording this slow wave in the back of the brain, we had a pattern of sluggishness. Participants were slower to respond, they were making more misses, and they were also experiencing more blanks. So it seems that slow wave could be a unitary phenomenon that could explain why we have difficulties paying attention to our environment when we get tired. It's a simple mechanism, just some brain region falling into a sleep-like state, but it can have wide-ranging consequences depending on where it occurs in the brain. Following up on that study, we want to study inter-individual differences. Can this sleep intrusion explain attentional disorders, such as ADHD? What is the relationship with motivation? Do you have powers about how much sleep intrusion you are making during the day? And what is the limit to this ability?